lightweight, baby, lightweight. Yes, guys, here we are live. This is FC RAMSAY, and we are back to the live matches which are happening. Oh my god, so many of the matches tonight. But yes, extremely sorry for missing those matches yesterday night because my streaming elements were not doing proper, some kind of technical glitches it was, so I missed those matches. I am extremely sorry for it. But for today's game, it is the likes of Bayern against Hoffenheim, Stuttgart against Leipzig in the Bundesliga. In the Premier League, it is Arsenal and the Hotspurs. Oh my god, Arsenal are definitely looking to get some sort of comebacks because that is definitely the need of the town. Against Brighton, they had a draw. Newcastle, they lost. Manchester United in the FA Cup, they were eliminated. That is a humiliation for Mikel Arteta's Arsenal. The copy-paste of Pep Guardiola in the Premier League. That is Mikel Arteta going to do something against Tottenham today. And yes, on the other hand, if we talk about Tottenham for this, if they have got those defeats under Newcastle, winning against Liverpool in the first leg of the EFL. Oh my god, Liverpool might have got some sort of setbacks with that draw against Manchester United and yes, that loss against Tottenham. But in the Premier League table, after the departure of Jurgen Klopp, Liverpool are doing so good. And this game, if you talk about Tottenham and the likes of Arsenal, this is the deciding one because apart from today's game, Arsenal has those, big 8 games left in the Premier League in just the next half of the season. Liverpool, on the other hand, if you talk about, they have got those just 6 big games. So 2 big games not on side of Liverpool, and Liverpool on the Premier League table with 1 game played more than Arsenal are just 7 points ahead. If Arsenal are going to get or some sort of hopes for them to come back into the Premier League counting numbers, then definitely this game they have to yield something better. The Gunners, if they want it to happen, then it has to happen tonight, and if it's not going to happen, then it is not going to happen this season for them. It is all the way for Liverpool to get it big, and no one is going to stop them, neither even the likes of Manchester City Pep Guardiola. No expectations. Just have a look at the Premier League table over here. It is the Premier League table. Liverpool are so much at the top. The goal difference, look at it, 28 goal difference. Can you believe it? Arsenal are having 21 goal difference, but you can't deny this. They have got that 1 loss, and that was against Nottingham Forest. But in the previous game, Nottingham Forest getting those draws against Liverpool, that is what Liverpool just converted it so good. And yes, if you talk about Arsenal, they are just crawling up like babies, not utilizing those opportunities which is coming on the way. And yes, Chelsea, Chelsea, if you talk about him, just look at the previous night fixtures. They got a draw, and that was against the likes of Bournemouth. Next, they have Wolves, and yes, Manchester City also on the way for Chelsea. Chelsea, if you talk about them in the Premier League, no, 10 points behind Liverpool. No way are they going to. But yes, they can manage to stay in the Champions League. That is what they will be aspiring. But what about Manchester City? Are they going to crawl up the table to be qualifying for the Europa League or the Champions League, or will they go for those Conference League? Whatever is in store for these, that is definitely not going to yield much into it. But for now, we will just concentrate on the game which is going on, that is between the likes of Bayern Munich and Hoffenheim. It is the lineup. Bayern and Hoffenheim, they are going one-on-one each against in the Bundesliga. This is the round 17, but yes, Vincent Company has to stay hungry because the previous year ended with that loss to Leverkusen and out of the DFB Pokal. But in this year, Bayern has got those two big wins. Starting from this new year, they won against Salzburg. That was a friendly. Against Borussia Mönchengladbach. That was a 1-0 win. It was close, but yes, Bayern were dominating this game. But for this game, if you talk about it, is Hoffenheim who is going to face them. And in the lineup, it is the likes of Koeman who has been there. He has been injured for the last game. For the substitutions, he was called in. Thomas Muller, Harry Kane is back in the squad. Leroy Sané is what Vincent Company is sticking to in this game. That is definitely much not happening. And yes, Pavlovic back from the injuries into the defensive midfields. He has been called to the first lineup. Kimmich, Upamecano, and it is Eric Dyer. No likes of Kim Min-jae. What has happened to our Kim Min-jae? Oh my god, Kim Min-jae has not been picked in the first lineup. And yes, it is Guerrero and Manuel Neuer. Manuel Neuer taking those positions because Daniel Peretz, the next goalkeeper in line after Manuel Neuer, is out on some kind of injuries. Apart from that, Hoffenheim in the Bundesliga table, they are just on the verge of relegation at the 14th spot. That is what it is all about. And yes, Bayern on the other hand, they are having some sort of transfer talks which is going on, whether it is going to be Mathis Tel or whether it is going to be the likes of Christopher Nkunku going to come at the Bayern. But apart from this game, Arsenal and Tottenham, if you talk about that, I mean, it is going to start just half an hour later to this. So we will be having a half an hour watch along of Bayern as well as the likes of Hoffenheim. And yes, it is also Stuttgart and Leipzig going to face one-on-one against each other. Stuttgart in this season, if you talk about them, yes, they have been performing well, but in the first few games of the season, but they have just lagged on to the latter. As well as the likes of Leipzig, they are managing with some sort of injuries in their back. Apart from that, no. The watch links are given in the channel description, the video description. Join the different social media links which have been given in the chat. The message has been pinged. It is also on the video description as well as in the channel description. You can find the links over there as well. Apart from that, Arsenal and Tottenham, what more to say about it, because the injuries of a few players are concerning. Bukayo Saka not in, Gabriel Jesus not in, Ricardo Calafiori not in. Much worries for Arteta whether he is going to survive with this or not. This is the lineup where Arsenal and Tottenham are going to face. Mikel Merino not being picked up in the squad. Zinchenko not in the squad. It is Thomas Partey, Declan Rice and Odegaard. Odegaard has a miss in those penalties, and yes, he is not looking in his best of his form. I mean, the starting of this new year. Luis Kelly on the left backs for Arsenal. No Zinchenko, not been over there. Not the likes of Tierney. Oh my god. Calafiori is absent. Ben White is absent. Left backs, right backs. Tomiyasu is absent for a long time. Ethan Nwaneri is off for a long time. Bukayo Saka is being on those late February. He can come back. And yes, Gabriel Jesus is out of season. Oh my god. Miseries for Arsenal if they are not going to get those wins over these Spurs. These are the injuries in the long season of the Champions League, the FA Cup, the EFL, as well as the Premier League, which is causing many teams to collapse. Arsenal are going to make those transfers or not, it is definitely the likes. But Trossard, Havertz and Sterling, it is all for that old ace Sterling to get some sort of relief into this game for Mikel Arteta. Whereas Postecoglou with the likes of Kulusevski, Solanke and Son will be firing. He will be firing. It is Sarr, Bissouma and Bergwijn in the midfields. Bergwijn was a class performance against Liverpool. And yes, Pedro Porro, Tregusin, Archie Gray and Spence on the centre backs. They are missing the likes of their elite center back, and it is Mr. Romero, Christian Romero. He is out on those injuries. Udogi is also injured. Van de Ven is also injured. Bentancur, I mean, that kind of collision which he had, he is on a head injury. Odobot is also not there. Ben Davis, Vicario, as well as Foster's injuries are there for Postecoglou's men also. The reason why not performing to their best. Injuries are really a concern that is definitely going to not much assist the players of this. But in this game where Bayern and Hoffenheim are playing, that is some sort of counters which Manuel Neuer is making. And apart from this, there is also the game in the Copa del Rey. Just look at it, guys. I mean, it is Barcelona who is going to face Real Betis in the Copa del Rey round of 16. The match is just half an hour past this streaming. I mean, from 1:30 sharp it is going to be there. We will have a watch of that also, as well as the likes of each versus Atletico Madrid. The Copa del Rey round of 16 is also going to be on the screen. All the links are given in the channel description, in the video description, as well as in the chat section. It has been pinned. Do stay tuned to it, guys. And yes, for as of now, we will be just watching the game between Bayern and Hoffenheim, which is going on the stream. Can that first goal which we can get, it is Bayern on the box. Oh my god, Bayern has scored. Leroy Sané, or is it Guerrero? What a classic! Just 6 minutes into this game, and it is Rafael Guerrero scoring it. Oh my god, oh my god. What a tremendous and a fantabulous first half are we going to have. It is Bayern scoring against Hoffenheim in just 6 minutes. Look at that, Pavlovic. It was to Kimmich, Kimmich to Musiala. No, that was Guerrero. Leroy Sané to the left wings. Leroy Sané was to Thomas Muller. And Leroy Sané, that sniper, perfect shot being taken. But what assist, that was from Thomas Muller. That is what Leroy Sané has to be back in form, guys. Leroy Sané has to be back in form. That is definitely the much need. That is definitely the much need of this. Anyways, Bayern are up by 1 goal in just 6 minutes. And yes, any kind of updates in the lineups for Arsenal and Tottenham, I don't think so that they are going to make any changes. Yes, it is also Inter and Bologna who are facing in the Serie A round 19, and Inter 2 games behind Napoli are 4 points behind them. I mean, Napoli under the likes of their manager, it is who they are doing it so good. And yes, if you talk about Antonio Conte, I mean, that is the man. He has brought so much changes at Napoli. Will that be the talk of the town for today? Inter are going to win against Bologna or not? That will be also a watch to have. Barcelona and Real Betis in the Copa del Rey round of 16, and Elche as well as Atletico Madrid, the Roja Blancos in the round of 16. But for now, it is Bayern and Hoffenheim. Bayern are already 1 up in this. Can they get more goals, guys? If Bayern are going to get those 3 goals in the first 30 minutes of this, then definitely completely we will watch the likes of Arsenal and yes, that of Tottenham. The watch links are given in the channel description, video description. Do watch it over here. And if you are ready to shell out your penny, then definitely it is live at the Disney Hotstar. You can shell out your bucks to watch it there also. That is Hoffenheim with some free kick. Manuel Neuer, but no worries for him. And yes, there is also a poll that whether the Gunners are going to win or it is the Spurs. or whether that game is going to end in a draw or it is going to be abandoned. Eric Dyer has Koeman on the left wings. Koeman and Sane, they have to build it back. And the likes of Gnabry, man, he has to be present. But company choosing with the likes of these two pairs, he has often went for Kingsley Coman and the pairing of Sane, and on the other hand, to some extent, he is also moving with Coman as well as the likes of Mikel Olise. Mikel Olise is that steady man in the game for the wingers. And the three forwards, I mean, Gnabry, he is missing his form. Sane, he is missing his form, but this is the fourth goal for Sane. He is becoming too unpredictable at times, but about Serge Gnabry, no. And yes, Mathis Tell, no character this season. These players are really missing those characters. That is definitely which they have to prove in order to stay at Bayern for a long. That is not going to happen so easy. And yes, it is Benjamin Sesko who has scored. Oh my god. Leipzig are 1-up against Stuttgart. Eric Dyer to Pavlovic. Upamecano. Build-up is looking good and Hoffenheim are not trying to pose any kind of threat in this game. I don't think that Hoffenheim are going. That is Guerrero inside the box. Will he give that for Thomas Muller? Cutting into the box was not that easy. And yes, Harry Kane was not present right in the vicinities of Thomas Muller to get those passes. If we talk about Arsenal and Tottenham, do you guys think that Arsenal are going to win? I mean, from my predictions, if you talk about Arsenal and the likes of Tottenham, I don't think that Arsenal are going to get a win out of here. The injuries are concerning for him, and yes, that will definitely get more yield to it. Guerrero is inside the box. Oh my god, that is the second goal. Rafael Guerrero has got it, and Bayern are just 2-up in 12 minutes of this gameplay. Big win incoming for Bayern. Big win incoming. Apart from this game, if you have a look for Bayern, the fixtures for them, the next game, they have got the likes of Wolfsburg, and yes, it is Feyenoord in the Champions League. So yes, up to February 8th, I mean the Champions League matches, Slovan Bratislava, it is Feyenoord. In the Bundesliga, it is Wolfsburg, Freiburg, Holstein Kiel is there on February 1st. That will be a definite because Holstein Kiel has got that win over Dortmund the previous night. And on February 8th, it is Werder Bremen against Bayern. It is February 15th, I mean the Valentine's Day, Leverkusen are up against Bayern, and that will be the Bay Arena, the home of Leverkusen. Apart from this, I mean Bayern are not having those worries which can be. Bayern are not having those worries which can be lethal. So Arsenal and Tottenham, the North London derby, whether the timing is worse for Arsenal or whether it is for the Spurs, that has to be washed out, guys. That has to be washed out. 2 goals up for Bayern, and yes, still we have got those 15 minutes for the game of Arsenal and Tottenham to just proceed. And I just want Bayern to get that third goal, and it will be a big, huge victory. I mean, Vincent Company is really doing good with those managers. I mean, if you talk about his managerial capabilities, he has got those performances with those managers, but against those big wins where it is required, it is definitely he has to prove. He has to prove those big games, big wins against those big clubs. That is what he has got, that victory over PSG. That is what he has got achieved. Harry Kane not having that perfect touch on the field. Hoffenheim are struggling to keep the ball in their possession. I mean, if Bayern and Hoffenheim, I mean, in the previous season, if we take a look of it, it was Hoffenheim who got those 4 goals victory over Bayern, and that was in May. In the previous season, it was the likes of Bayern getting those upsets. It was Mathis Tell and Davis scoring those early, but Hoffenheim got those from Kramaric. I mean, that was a hat trick from Hoffenheim, and that was a comeback win which Hoffenheim made against Bayern in the previous season. That is definitely Hoffenheim is capable of getting it. They just analyze it so good. It was Materazzo, their manager, but now it is in the hands of Ilzer. Can they do it? Can they do it again? That will be the watch. And apart from those Hoffenheim causing those upset loss in the previous season, they have got those 5 wins against Bayern, and yes, Bayern has got those 20 wins and 5 draws. That is what the head-to-head comparison is in between these two teams. And unless and until Hoffenheim are going to make those recoveries, it is all the way for Bayern. Yes, the game against Inter and Bologna has also started. Just look at the lineups of Inter and Bologna. It is Jan Sommer, Damian, De Vrij, Bastoni, Dumfries, Barella, Aslani is there. Oh my god. Simone Inzaghi has chosen for Aslani on the midfields. Zielinski and DeMarco. Thuram is back in the squad with those injuries in his backs, and it is Martinez. On the other hand, Bologna has got Castro and Indoe as well as Orsolini and Odegaard on the attacking midfields. Jan Sommer and his men, that is definitely the watch to have. But we will be having the watch of Arsenal and Tottenham on this. The lineups are confirmed and it is staying to be this only. No changes in the lineups which are going to come. Still 12 minutes. Still 12 minutes to kick off for the game between Arsenal and Tottenham. What is that going to happen? Leroy Sané again getting that curler. No, that is a block again. Guerrero on the right backs. At times he plays so good. I mean, he is such a versatile player. But at times he is lacking in those forms as well. The transfer news for Bayern will be upcoming straight in the next 5 days. And yes, the confirmed transfers we will be posting on our videos. Thomas Muller on the right wings trying to get a cut in. That pass is being blocked. Leroy Sané back to Kimmich. Oh my god, Davis had a view of the post, but he has been denied. Davis had some view of it, but he has been denied. Look at Alphonso Davis. On the other hand, for the goalkeeping positions, Manuel Neuer, if we talk about him after those rib injuries, still Manuel Neuer is not perfectly fit. Manuel Neuer still is not perfectly fit, but then also he is playing on the squad. I mean, hope he doesn't get any kind of big worries because Daniel Peretz is also missing and it will be left for Ulrich to carry on those goalkeeping gloves. What a classic header that was from Muller and a corner taken by Kimmich. That is the gameplay which Bayern does. Look at it. I mean, they dominate it so good. They keep on the pressure, they keep on the position, they keep on just attacking. This mindset of football is the German breed game which is being shown. Header for Eric Dyer, but that is some sort of block to it. Leroy Sané getting that goal. Look at his movement on the pitch. I mean, Leroy Sané, when he gets those goals, the numbers are counting for him. It is those boosts which he gets. He is that player who needs lots of motivation and lots of energy to be preserved. He definitely needs to be pampered at times. "20 minutes into the game and Bayern are 2 up. But the game between Arsenal and the likes of Tottenham, 9 minutes to it. 9 minutes for the start. What will be the kick-off result? Will Tottenham go for those fast counters in those early press moments? Or are they going to keep those position with the likes of Arsenal at the Emirates? Big things predictions. What are your predictions? Give us on the chat. There is a poll over there that whether the Gunners are going to get those big wins or it is the Spurs or the game is a draw or abandoned. That was a hard tackle from Pavlovic on the pitch. Hope he doesn't get any kind of booking to it. That is still 8 minutes for the kickoff. Oh my god, that is just 6 minutes. Less than 6 minutes left into the game. 6 minutes of the time is left. What is that going to happen? Arsenal are definitely the heavy favorites. They are definitely going to come big. And one of their last 31 Premier League away games against Arsenal, Tottenham, I mean Arsenal are Tottenham are just winless against Arsenal in 13 since a 3-2 victory in November 2010. That is a huge setback for Tottenham. And yes, Kai Havertz's last 11 Premier League goals have also been scored in London. I mean, the last Arsenal player to have such a long run was, I think, it was Podolski. Lukas Podolski having those stunt runs from 12th of December 2012 to April 2014. London derby of the season. 5 minutes to go on the watch. The kickoff is going to happen. Mikel Arteta's gunner. Are they going to be steady? Or the Spurs going to cause those upsets? I mean, the trump card in the Premier League, they cause those big upsets. But in the Premier League, if you talk about Arsenal, is this team, I mean, in the table, just look at the goals which Arsenal has conceded. Arsenal has just conceded 18 goals. Liverpool has conceded 20. Forest have conceded 20. All the teams apart from that has conceded more than 20 goals. But it is Arsenal with that rigid defense, with injuries also in their bags, they have conceded only 18 goals. That is a Harry Kane penalty, and yes, he has converted it good. It is 3 goals up against Hoffenheim in just 26 minutes. And our predictions for this game was so true that Bayern are going to get those big goals in the 30 minutes of the game. And definitely we will have the watch of Arsenal and Tottenham so good, so peacefully, with no worries of Bayern getting down in this game. That penalty, Harry Kane, so beautifully he converts it. Harry Kane just converts it so beautifully. Damn, he is mesmerizing. He is mesmerizing. So let us just switch our screen to the likes of Arsenal and Tottenham. How many more minutes are left? 2 minutes more left. 2 minutes more left for Arsenal and Tottenham to just begin. Yes, this is the atmosphere of the North London Derby. What is that going to happen? Our predictions for this game, Arsenal are going to get a draw. And yes, if they don't get a win out of it, then the Premier League table for them, it is Liverpool going to get those big wins this season. They are doing so good and they are not giving away those chances. That is definitely the talk. Gabriel Jesus was carried off on a stretcher last match against United, and yes, he is out of the season. Spurs have got injuries as well. They don't have Christian Romero, Van de Ven, Bentancur. Nothing is in them. Arteta missing Bukayo Saka. Will that be a misery for him? Then it will be a straight lead away for Liverpool. They are already 7 points, I guess, ahead. What is that table? Yes, absolutely. They are 7 points ahead of Arsenal. But it is also Barcelona and Real Betis who are going to face in the Copa del Rey, as well as the likes of Elche and Atletico de Roja Blancos in the Copa del Rey. PSG and Espelli are having that game also in the Coupe de France. But for this game, Arsenal and Tottenham, big moments coming on. It is Kinski who is coming onto the pitch. Oh my god. Look at him. Kinski was definitely a good performer. And Tottenham, he hasn't got, Postecoglou, he hasn't got the likes of much goalkeeping positions. He has to stick with Kinski. And Kinski, this Czech Republic player, playing his second game, this is his third game. It was against Liverpool. He did it so good. He denied Liverpool of any straight chances. Against Tamworth, he was also excellent. Whether Postecoglou's men have got Kinski, their player who can prevent Arsenal from getting, but it is from the Emirates Stadium, and the referee on pitch is Simon Hooper. The game has started. Anything is going to happen, guys. Anything is going to happen. For these straight wins, which is required over here, anything is going to happen. Barcelona and Real Betis, this game has also begun. Espali and PSG, that has also begun. And yes, Elche and Atletico Madrid will be just half an hour delayed into it. Bayern has got those 3 goals lead over Hoffenheim in just 30 minutes. It was those comeback moments which was needed, because in the previous game, Hoffenheim getting those upset wins coming back in the second half in the previous season led Bayern Munich to a defeat, but now they are looking steady. Stuttgart and Leipzig are 1 up. Bologna has scored against Inter. Oh my god, Bologna has scored. Sommer was making few saves in just 9 minutes of the game, but it is Bologna who has scored. Holy Christ. Holy Christ. Let me just change the screen to this. It will look good. Yes, it is. This is the Arsenal and Tottenham lineup. Inter and Bologna, they are also having those good stunts. Barcelona and Real Betis. The game has started. Yes. Look at this knockout. We will have a detailed analysis of this a bit later. But for now, it is Arsenal against Tottenham. Big wins incoming for the Spurs. Get ready for this episode. It is Arsenal inside the box. That is some opportunity for Raheem Sterling. No, denied. That is what the Spurs are doing. That is what the Spurs are doing. Dragusin and Gray. Who was that who denied? Who was that who denied Sterling? Look at it. Look at it. Spence just denied, and Archie Gray also denied that comfortable goal scoring opportunity for Raheem Sterling. Sterling has been denied. Sterling has been denied. Radu Dragusin, Archie Gray. But the Spurs are really at times too unpredictable making those moves. Sterling on the right wings, Odegaard, Thomas Partey, Partey to Gabriel. Gabriel has a decent pairing with Lewis Kelly. Gabriel has a decent pairing with Lewis Kelly. So yes, those of you who had the watch of the lineups, can we just move back to our main screen? That will be the aspect of our watch along will be. Yes, this looks good. On the other hand, the game between Barcelona and Real Betis has also started. Man, Lewandowski is not in the squad for Barcelona. Just look at it, what Hansi Flick has done. Look at that, what Hansi Flick has done. It is no presence of Lewandowski. What has happened to Robert Lewandowski? Lewandowski is not in the first lineup which Hansi Flick has picked up against Real Betis. Oh my god, oh my god. So yes, that was the lineup. We will just switch off to the main screen. Now it looks good. Inter has also equalized against Bologna. Inter has also equalized against Bologna. I mean, Tottenham, if you talk about them, they have got Sar, Bissouma, Bergwell. Bergwell performed so well in the previous game. They have got Kinski. I mean, they should just try to move on higher on the Premier League table. That is what they have to. Man, so many goals are happening. Barcelona has scored. Oh my god. Barcelona has scored against Real Betis, and it is without the likes of Robert Lewandowski. Xavi has scored that for Barcelona. Barcelona nailed Real Madrid in the previous match. That was something big. That is really something big which they have achieved. They have really shown those big skills. They have really shown those big skills. If Arsenal are not going to get some points out of this game, then in the Premier League table, the run is over. The run is definitely over. Spence looking good. Bissouma is working hard on the defensive aspects. Odegaard moving in. Sterling is not having those touches, guys. Raheem Sterling, he is not having those touches. Arteta making those transfers, getting in Sterling is definitely, he has done something good to it, because he hasn't got Gabriel Jesus, neither Bukayo Saka. It is the presence of Raheem Sterling. Can he make those difference today? Raheem Sterling is definitely that player. He is capable. He has played at Liverpool, Manchester City, Chelsea, Arsenal, all the big clubs he has got. On loan at Arsenal, definitely he has something to prove. At Liverpool, for those 3 seasons, 129 games, 23 goals. Manchester City, 339 games, 131 goals. At Chelsea for 2 years, 81 games, 19 goals. At Arsenal, 13 games, 1 goal. What is the character which Raheem Sterling has to just put up? Can he get those big numbers in his back counting? That is what is required. That is definitely what is required from Raheem Sterling. He has to get those numbers big. He has to be lethal. He has got the support of Odegaard as well. But Havertz and the company, are they going to miss away those chances like the previous games or not? That is also the worth to watch. Odegaard with a free kick from the right midfields, going with his left footer. That is a perfect cross. Oh my god! It was some sort of opportunities for Kai Havertz. Look at that run. Look at that run. Yes, it was Havertz, but Kinski denied it so good. Kinski is that new player at Tottenham. He is earning his name, he is earning his fame, and he is really doing so good. Kinski is making his name count on the Premier League. Kinski is that new hunt which Postecoglou must be very much proud of unless and until he is going to concede. Odegaard corner. Oh my god, what a corner that was. Gabriel just jumped for that corner, but he couldn't get attached to it at the Emirates. Arsenal players are looking for those big goals early on because these Spurs with those counters, they can get a goal at any time. Postecoglou against Mikel Arteta, another corner incoming. It is Declan Rice with his right footer from the left part of the field. Will he go for those curler or for those shots because Odegaard is also there? No, he goes for those curlers, but headers are being denied constantly from the Spurs. How long are they going to keep this threat compact? Saliba, what a dribble that was. It was against Solanke. Saliba is dribbling against Solanke. Oh my god. Rare moments to be seen. Sar, one on one. He is going to try and find some space out of Luis Kelly and Rice. That is the defensive duos. Pedro Porro, will he have those options to get past to the wings? Because he has got Declan Rice, Luis Kelly as well as Gabriel on the defensive aspects. But yes, Spurs are looking at his Kulusevski, but no denied. Kulusevski was trying to find a way out into the box, but just being denied. It is Trossard on the left wings again. Trossard to Partey. Back to Saliba. I mean, Saliba and Gabriel Jesus, both of them are defensively so strong, so high. It is Rice. Can he get that shot? No. Oh my God. Trossard again misses it. Just look at that. Leonardo Trossard misses that clear opportunity inside the box to shoot, but it is Kinski denying him again and again. Sterling with that cross, Dragusin getting that header, chance for Odegaard to shoot, but Solanke getting those interceptions at the perfect time. Man, Kinski is the man. Kinski is the man which the Spurs must boast of. Kinski is that man which the Spurs must boast of. He is performing back-to-back 2 games. He has been performing lethal and he is denying every opportunity which the Gunners are going to get. Saliba again to Trossard on the left wings. Trossard is speeding in. Trossard against Porro. Yes, he gets it. But Dragusin with that interception again. So yes, Arsenal are firing. The Gunners are just giving away their cannons for the Spurs. Can that be a warning? Because Spurs in the 13 minutes of the gameplay over here have not yet shown any kind of counters. Sterling again to the right wings. Sterling has got Timber on his side. Timber is so high on the pitch that can be lethal. Timber has got his speed, but it can be lethal because the likes of Spurs with Son and Solanke or Kulusevski, they can get big counters incoming. Hope Arsenal doesn't go in much for those press. Odegaard again exploiting those midfield opportunities to Sterling. Sterling is not looking decent, boys. Raheem Sterling is not looking decent. Saliba against Son, yes, win by Saliba. That is Spence. Spence has got Gray, Burwell, back to Gray. Why they are not passing that to Kinski? Why the Spurs are not passing? They have got Burwell again. Burwell just winning it against Odegaard. But against Partey, oh my god. Oh my god. Arsenal from the midfield defensive aspect of Partey are doing good. Partey, Saliba and Gabriel, look at the defensive, the physicality of these three players. You have got Thomas Partey, you have got Gabriel, you have got Saliba. Oh, that is a huge defensive boost which Arsenal have got in their defense. They have got many players to perform but still trailing behind Liverpool, and this is the game. If they are not going to get those points, either a draw or a win, then Liverpool are going straight to win this. No one is going to stop them. And yes, the referee on pitch, Simon Hooper, hope he doesn't make any kind of wrong decisions in favor of the Spurs. But Kinski is their man, the goalkeeper for the Spurs. In the 15 minutes, look at the shots which Arsenal had, and yes, he has denied. Again, it is Kinski. Look at it, man. Look at it. What a performance this goalkeeper Kinski is performing. Oh my god, you can't just imagine it. It is total 4 shots which Arsenal have taken in the 13 minutes of the gameplay, and Kinski is that performer. He is doing so good. Kinski is doing it so good. Time and again, Kinski is denying any clear opportunities. Will he be the man? Back-to-back 2 stunting performances for the Spurs. Can he do it again? Oh my god, Kinski has made straight against Arsenal. Havertz. But Kinski winning it. Kinski is showing his turns, guys. Kinski is showing his turns. But what was that from Kinski? It would have just led to concede a goal. But Havertz not getting those clinical finishings. The balance of his body is not perfect at times, and that is what has resulted. Declan Rice, Skelly, Saliba, Timber, Partey, good fluidity. Arsenal are getting those mid spaces because the likes of Bissouma and Sarr are staying so down on the defensive aspects. They are giving away those midfield opportunities. Spurs are giving those midfield opportunities, and they are letting the Arsenal players to come into their half. Damn, this is the 4th corner which the Gunners are taking in just 18 minutes of the gameplay. Gunners are really looking lethal because it is the Spurs who are allowing them to come into their half. But I am waiting for those counter opportunities which these Spurs are going to make. That will be the count. What a corner. Odegaard is taking those corners, those curlers so good on the screen. Declan Rice against Son, dribbling it good. Odegaard comes to the rescue with a pass. Sterling against Dragusin, but Sterling is getting those opportunities but not getting those clinical finishings. That is what is the worry for. On the other hand, the game in between Bayern and Hoffenheim has ended in the first half, and It is Bayern getting those comfortable 3 goals with a penalty from Harry Kane, Leroy Sané, Guerrero, the 3 goal scorers for Bayern against Hoffenheim. And in these stats, it is 11 shots from Bayern, but Hoffenheim are lethal because the previous season they got those, 3 comeback goals. That was definitely lethal. And on the other hand, Leipzig and Stuttgart in the Bundesliga, Leipzig with the help of Sesko got that 1 goal lead. And in these stats, Leipzig has been seen just controlling this game. But yes, Stuttgart are also making those vast counters. Arsenal and Tottenham still goalless on the 21st minute. Inter and Bologna 1 goal each, 35 minutes on the gameplay. Barcelona and Real Betis 17 minutes into the game, and Barcelona are up by 1 goal. That is what the score updates are. And yes, on the panel also you can have a watch of the scoreline, as well as check the links given in the social media description where you can have the match links as well. But Kinski is the man for the Spurs. He is performing so good. All the praise for the Spurs, for their goalkeeper Kinski. Kinski again, oh my god, Kinski is playing dangerous, he is playing lethal. What is he doing? He is making fun of Kai Havertz as well as the likes of Leonardo Trossard. Man, that was Dominic Solanke inside the box. That was Solanke inside the box. Look at that run. Look at that run. Oh my god, Spence made such a beautiful run. It was Spence with such a beautiful run into the edge of the box. Solanke was clear just to get a touch. Was that Gabriel? Yes. No, Solanke was denied. It was Gabriel getting those touches. Man, I tell you, Spurs are dangerous on those counters. They can count those numbers big anytime. They can count on those big numbers. Kulusevski inside the box. That is a goal. Which Kulusevski? Oh my god. Samuel Raya denying Kulusevski, but Kulusevski got that opportunity so good. Oh my god. Kulusevski must be repenting. Such a good opportunity it was for him. Again, a corner incoming for the Spurs. This is their third one incoming, I guess. Poro with that cross. Header it is. Denied. Finally, Raheem Sterling getting those clearances. Spence losing it. Thank God, Bissouma getting those clearances. Kinski. Back to Spence. It is Sarr. Archie Gray. Bissouma again. To Spence. Burwell. Burwell has to get those midfield runs. He is capable of getting those midfield runs. The presence of the likes of Bandankur not in this card, he has to come those big output results. Odegaard, Timber, Arsenal building up from the right wings, back to Odegaard. Gabriel, Saliba, Odegaard, Sterling again. The Spurs are not giving any made spaces just on the edge of the box for the Gunners. And yes, the Gunners are just going for those aerial crosses. That is what they are tempting to. That is what a trap which Postecoglou's men are playing. It is Sarr. Will he go for those crosses? It is that corner incoming. Thomas Partey getting that interception against that cross from Sarr, just resulting, just giving the edge to the Spurs with that corner. It is that third corner which the Spurs will be taking. Now the Spurs are making those moves. Son getting that shot. Yes, oh my god, Son Heung-min has scored. I told you guys, Arsenal, they are just not the game which we were looking for. And yes, this Spurs, Tottenham, Son Heung-min has scored. This man getting those shots, getting some deflection, and yes, Samuel Roya just getting those nervous moments. It is Spurs at the Emirates, one up in just 24 minutes of the gameplay. That shot from Spurs, yes, it got, I think that was a deflection. It was Partey, I guess. Who was that man who got that deflection? Son hitting that good. Yes, it was in between the legs of Partey. Thomas Partey getting those deflections, and it was no way for Samuel Raya to get a touch to it. And these Spurs are one goal up. Good job, guys. Good job. Deny Arsenal of any opportunities, man. Mikel Arteta is not the talk of the town, which I constantly say because he is just a copy paste of mini version of Pep Guardiola. He has got those big players in his squad, he has got those transfers, and I don't know why the Gunners are keeping Mikel Arteta time and again with those sloppy and sluggish performances, being on the second spot, third spot, fourth spot every time, but not clinching to those edge moments. Postecoglou, man, get those second goal, boys, get those second goal. Spence, Bissouma, one-on-one against Odegaard, but no, Odegaard is clever. It is Bissouma winning it, he is speeding away. Will he go for Solanke? Yes, he has gone for Dominic Solanke against Saliba. Saliba is physically so strong for him to handle. Saliba is so strong for Dominic Solanke to handle. Oh my god. Opportunity incoming for the Spurs. No, that is a clearance. Havertz against Archie Gray has a fall. Down to the ground, and yes, Mr. Cooper, the referee on pitch, gives the first yellow card. Simon Cooper has given his first yellow card of this game, and it is Sarr who has got it. It is Sarr who has got the first yellow card of this game. That tackle to Havertz, it was a bit annoying, and yes, Sarr getting the first yellow card of this game, and Simon Cooper just utilizing his skills on the pitch. Arsenal are now looking a bit shaky in their legs. Samuel Raya, Timber has got Sterling, but look at that movement from Sterling. Sterling is just cutting it, and Havertz, he is overlapping those positions with him. That is not going to happen from Sterling. That is not going to happen from Raheem Sterling. Skelly gives that to Trossard on the left wings. Pedro Porro, no, Trossard tries to cut in. Bissouma getting that interception. Kulusevski. Ball is in possession of Gabriel. Saliba. Sterling again to the right wings against Spence. Sterling is lacking in form, guys. Sterling is lacking in form. Son, Gray, Spence. What is that the Spurs are doing? Get those clearances, boys. Don't get those lethal centre back playmaking. 28 minutes into the game, and it is the sole goal from Son Heung-min which the Spurs are boosting. But to talk more about it, it is Kinski performing time and again. And Kinski against the likes of Havertz, Trossard is doing so good. Kinski is performing so good on the pitch. Samuel Raya, I mean, these Spurs haven't got those wins against Arsenal for a long time at their home. Will this goal lead to their victory up to the stoppage time? Saliba, Rice building up. Burwell is high up on the pitch. They have got Bisoma. Sar is down. Poro against Trossard. Good movement. That is from Trossard. Oh my god. Pedro Poro has a fall on the pitch. He is looking injured. Pedro Poro, look at that. Trossard is good in those dribbling aspects, in those sticky ball position moments. But on those finishing aspects, Trossard has something big to prove in the Premier League. Pedro Porro has a fall on the pitch, and yes, the Spurs are just utilizing those time to get back into their full energy, and that is definitely they are wanting it. Barcelona and Real Betis. Oh my god, Barcelona has scored their second goal against Real Betis. Gavi scoring on the 3rd minute and Kunde scoring on the 27th minute. Inter and Bologna, it is up to the 45 minutes, 1 goal each. Real Madrid and Elche, it has just started. Atletico Madrid and Elche. It is Coria, Sorloth, Kelleher is there, Koch, Riquelme, Samuel Lino, Aspilicueta, Lee Normand, Witzel, and Marcus Llorente on the right backs. Atletico as well as Barcelona in the Copa del Rey round of 16 are playing. Barcelona are playing at their home, but it is not the Camp Nou, it is Stade Olympique Louis Company's stadium which they are playing, and Elche are playing at their home of Manuel Martinez Valero Stadium. "32 minutes on the watch, and still it is Spurs 1 goal up against Gunners at the Emirates. Sterling against Son, Burwell, Timber, Porte to Odegaard. Odegaard has Timber, Timber cuts in, Dragusin getting those interceptions good. Dragusin getting those interceptions good. What is that? Who has scored? And on the other hand, it is Everton and Aston Villa also going scoreless. But from the Spurs, if you talk about in the performance of the first half, I am just stating it back for the likes of Kinski in this game. Kinski has been performing so good for the past 2 games, and yes, Postecoglou might have just got the big man onto the squad. The hunt for their new goalkeeper, the hunt for their new character in the team, it is Kinski. Odegaard down to the pitch, but yes, Simon Cooper not giving any card. It was that tackle from Kulusevski, I guess. Simon Cooper not showing off the cards so easily. Good refereeing going on in the pitch so far, but a free kick one for the Gunners. Can Kinski prove to be the next man of the match of this game? Declan Rice, Odegaard looking at the view of the goal post. Kinski is just getting his defensive wall ready. He is on to the far post. Yes, it is Odegaard who is going to take that free kick. Odegaard goes for the far post for a header, denied by Bissouma. Good clearance that is. Keep up the spirit, boys. I mean, Spurs, if you talk about them, they were a bit lucky because Son getting those shots, it was some sort of deflection from the legs of Thomas Partey, which led to it. Otherwise, apart from that, I mean, the forwards from the Spurs, they are not getting away those opportunities because from the midfield, Sar Bissouma are not creating those opportunities. Kinski again getting that hammer punch to the ball. Look at it. Kinski is delivering so good, boys. Kinski is delivering so good. Time and again, Kinski is this Czech Republic goalkeeper, 21 years of age, from the likes of those Czech Republic clubs, Slavia Prague, but from January 2025 at the Spurs, two games being played, and this is his third game which he is on the pitch, and he is showing a true class. Kinski is showing a true class into this game. Timber to Saliba. Saliba changes the flank. Plays Kelly. Kelly tries to find Trossard. Yes, Trossard has got those quick position movements. Rice, Saliba, Timber. Look at that positioning. Look at that positioning from Timber. He is trying to get into the SAS positions, but his offensive awareness will be definitely the watch. Whereas Sterling is staying wide onto the pitch. It is those vast through balls for Trossard. Good clearance from Archie Gray. Arsenal are playing their predicted formation and they are playing their predicted build up. Sterling moving to the right wings, but good defensive aspect from Spence. Spence is denying Sterling of any opportunities, whether you call it the best moment which Spence is having, or whether you call it that it is Raheem Sterling not having those good touches on the ball. Whatever it is, but from the wings of Sterling, nothing is coming inside for the Gunners. And on the other hand, Kinski is just humiliating Havertz. This game from the Arsenal, it is looking so predicted. I mean, it is that fourth goal which Bayern has scored, and they are 4 up against Hoffenheim. Oh my god, big wins incoming for Bayern. Because in the previous season, it was Hoffenheim getting those upset wins with those second half comebacks. But in this is the first game of the season between Bayern and Hoffenheim. And yes, it is now Bayern getting those 4 goals in 49 minutes. It is Leroy Sané again. Hope Leroy Sané gets back to his form. That is what is much needed. On the other hand, it is Arsenal and Tottenham which is going on with the Spurs. A lead of 1 goal. Trossard to the left wings. Every time I can see that Trossard is making those opportunities from the left wings. Neither Declan Rice is moving high up on the pitch. He is bit threatened with those fast counters. Rice is staying bit down on the defensive midfields, and yes, Partey is staying those anchor positions, whereas Odegaard is moving up, but Sterling is not showing. How many goals are being scored today? Man, we are going crazy. Oh my god, what a goal that is! What a goal from Gabriel, again a header. Oh my god, that is Gabriel. Just look at him, deadly, deadly header. What a cross that was. I mean, that corner being taken. Oh my god, look at Gabriel. This was the first time Kinski has been beaten against the Arsenal at the Emirates, and the Spurs goalkeeper, man, that was a bad handling. Look at that. Kinski was just stuck to that position, and yes, he was kept over there by Saliba, I guess. Look at that. Look at that. It was something bad which was happening. It was Saliba not giving those opportunities for Kinski to move. But that wasn't a corner in the first place. Look at it. It was Trossard against Pedro Porro. And Pedro Porro. Oh my god, what is that? It wasn't even a corner. Holy Christ, what is that happening? Will this goal stay or not? That is definitely the watch for. But the corner has been taken. Oh my god, that wasn't even a corner. It is Arsenal getting those headers goals, but from their clinical finishings, from the box, those touches inside the box, and being lethal to get the goal, I mean the ball past the nets, they are not being able to do it. Free kick for the Spurs. Son, no, he doesn't goes for Bergwall. Straight for Raya. Raya is looking decent. Raya is looking decent. Saliba tries to find Trossard. No, Havertz, his first touch wasn't that good. That is, I guess, a yellow card for Havertz on the pitch. Havertz is that unorthodox number 9 in the squad. He wears that number 29 jersey, but he is that unorthodox number 9 on the pitch. I mean, Kinski not performing by conceding that first goal of this game. It is much yet to be proved. It is much yet to be proved. Two yellow cards in the first half, 44 minutes on the watch, and it is still one goal each for both the Spurs and the Gunners. Barguel winning that, Solanke, Kulusevski, they have got Son as well. Kulusevski passes it to Bissouma, Sar, Pedro Porro, back to Dragwilson, Gray, Spence, Bissouma. Bissouma tries to go for those single run on the pitch, but Odegaard denies it. Trossard, oh my god, look at that finish from Trossard. Unbelievable, unbelievable finishing from Leonardo Trossard. Kinski has just led those two goals on the verge of the completion of the first half. Oh my god. That is a comeback goal. That is a comeback goal from Leonardo Trossard. Kinski was performing so good, but I don't think he just got the chance of getting those saves. Trossard was there, but what was Kinski saving it? That was some sort of dipping shot. The ball just bounced. He gets a touch to it even, but that was nowhere near to a save. Leonardo Trossard with that high binocular celebration. Oh my god. Kinski has considered twice. Kinski has just considered twice, and this player was performing so good in the first half. Also, he was performing, but in the later half of the first half, Kinski has just led to some sort of humiliation. The second goal from Trossard, that shot wasn't that lethal. Even Kinski gets a touch to it, but he concedes. Kinski has conceded twice. Will that be the big headline for tomorrow? That Kinski has conceded twice, but this was the fault of Bissouma running on high onto the pitch, where these Spurs players were just moving on for those counters, and that led to a counter attack from Arsenal. It is just a opportunity which Bissouma has given away to Odegaard and Trossard. I mean, the two players who were looking lethal. It wasn't Sterling who was looking at all good. Havertz wasn't at all looking good. Trossard and Odegaard were doing good on the pitch. And yes, this counter which Bissouma just handed the opportunity for them. It is those deep center back movements which these Spurs are making, and from the starting I have been saying that they are not clearing those balls in their possession, just leading to those mispassing. And yes, back to back Arsenal are getting those one goal lead. 45 minutes are up and it is 4 minutes of stoppage time. Are the Spurs going for those counters, or they are going to stay on those centre backs? Because 4 minutes of extra time in the first half is much. Trossard, Sterling, back to Trossard, Saliba, Odegaard. Odegaard has got Havertz going for those left footers. Yes, no, that is a block from Degwison. Where's Kelly, Gabriel, Partey, back to Saliba. Saliba has got Trossard, Timber, Sterling. Sterling is just playing those positions, but he is not giving up to his best. Havertz again to Partey. Spence winning it. No, that is some sort of tackle which the referee is pointing at. Simon Cooper, the referee on pitch, not giving any cards for Spence, but that is Postecoglou not happy with that decision from Simon Cooper on the pitch. It was the first goal which the Gunners scored, that wasn't even a corner. Oh my god, what was that decision in the Premier League? Money is talking, guys. Money is talking. I mean, how could that goal be counted when that wasn't a corner? Why the decisions are not being taken with so much of time in hand? Hurried decisions making waste giving that opportunity for Arsenal. But Pedro Porro in this game, he is lacking against Trossard. Pedro Porro, he is definitely lacking, and it is Simon Cooper just blowing the whistle, and it is the half time. This is the Spurs doing it so good in their defensive aspects at the Emirates. They were looking to go for those defensive opportunities, but the likes of Trossard and Odegaard, the two players from Arsenal, creating those opportunities, and it has just led to those two goals. Spurs, Kinski, the man who was doing so good in the past two games, this game also in the first half, he was playing those trends, but unfortunately, he was making some kind of stalemate moments against Kai Havertz. Man, in the end, just giving away two cheap goals. That corner which was being taken, it was Saliba who was just guarding Kinski in those positions, as well as the likes of Gabriel getting those free spaces, getting those headers. But Dragusin and RC Gray, to talk about them, they have to clear those balls when they are getting it in their own penalty box. Inside the box, Dragusin, RC Gray and Spence are trying to make those center back passes, which is getting lethal. No way that is going to help. Bissouma, Sar not yielding much to it, and yes, Bissouma has just given a clear opportunity to Odegaard. With that counter, Trossard was fast on the pitch. Pedro Porro was staying high on the pitch for those counters. The second goal which the Arsenal has got, it was the goal which the Spurs would have got, because those counters from Arsenal, that wasn't definitely not expected if Bissouma wouldn't have just led to that tackle win against Odegaard. Much of worries for Postecoglou's men, because in the Premier League table, if Arsenal were going to get a draw out of it, they would have been, 7 points behind Liverpool. But with this win, they will be 4 points, a little bit of chase in the Premier League table, which they will be trying to have. But no stopping the fact that Liverpool are definitely going to get the clinch of the Premier League this season if Arsenal are going to move high up. Apart from that, in this game, the performances of Spurs centre backs are really disheartening. On the other hand, Bayern and Hoffenheim on the 62 minutes, Bayern are up by 4 goals. We will just try to have a watch of that game, Bayern as well as the likes of Hoffenheim. It was their 4th goal which we just had. Yes, this is it. Guys, what do you think? Should we take a 1 minute break? Because it is, oh my god, I have been streaming for a long time. It is already 1 hour and 11 minutes on the watch. It is Bayern who are up by 4 goals. Oh my god. Good moment that is. Stuttgart and Leipzig. It is Stuttgart 2 goals. That of Leipzig's early 10th minute goal from Sesko. Inter and Bologna. 2 from Inter, 1 from Bologna. Barcelona and Real Betis in the Copa del Rey round of 16. 3 goals from Barcelona. Oh my god. Elche and Atletico Madrid. Roja Blancos are 1 goal up against Elche. Guys, let me just have a short 1 minute break. I will also take a short 1 minute break and be back to the stream. Do stay tuned, guys. Just a 1 minute short break I will take, and I will be back to the stream. Oh my god. Short break of all time. my god, it is the fifth goal which Bayern has just got. Just look at it. Who has scored that fifth goal for Bayern? Guys, we are back to the stream and it is the fifth goal which Bayern has scored. Who has scored? It is Gnabry scoring. Oh man, Hoffenheim are being humiliated at their own pitch. Good characters being shown. Bayern are showing their good characters on the pitch. But yes, Hoffenheim are down to the relegation. But in the previous season, Hoffenheim has got those upset wins. That was definitely big talk of the town. Serge David Gnabry, the chef, has got his fifth goal. It is the substitutions. Upamecano called off to the bench. Leon Goretzka. Serge Gnabry coming in for Harry Kane. Harry Kane has been given that time. That is good. Vincent Kompany is going good. He is giving Harry Kane those time, those spaces which is required. Those rest time is definitely needed. And yes, Coman has also been substituted by Mathis Tell. Good work. Vincent Kompany is giving those rest time to the players. That is definitely the much need. Gnabry staying on the center forwards. Mathis Tell has to show some character this season. He is not even getting those play time, nor even Ibrahimovic. But yes, Ibrahimovic is going on for a loan this season. On the other hand, Lama hasn't even been picked up. It is Goretzka and Eric Dyer staying on the centre backs. Good swapping of the positions. Look at that. Pavlovic is staying on the left backs. Pavlovic is staying on the left backs. Davis is moving high up on the pitch. Manuel Neuer, Olise trying to cut in. But no, Olise is not looking good in shape. Hoffenheim, what a shot that was, but Manuel Neuer saving it good. Big guy, big name, saving it big. Look at that save from Manuel Neuer. Oh my god, the ball was just on the top edge, but he gets a good deflection, and what a class save that was from Manuel Neuer. Manuel Neuer saves it big. Corner incoming from Hoffenheim. Olise is that man staying high up on the pitch. Pavlovic getting that interception. Gnabry not in the best of his touches. "70 minutes are up. Manuel Neuer just trying to get Davis into the attack. Pavlovic, Gnabry moving to the deep lying positions. Muller is staying. Olise. I think Vincent Kompany in this game not bringing in Olise into the squad is definitely the good watch. Look at that corner which is being taken by the likes of Guerrero. He just hits Olise on the back. Oh my god. Guerrero is getting so desperate to get that sixth goal. Muller, will you go for that cross? Yes, it is. Davis getting those headers. Alphonso Davis trying to get those headers. Davis at times, he comes to those center forward positions in those spaces inside the box. But Baumann has been playing for the goalkeeping positions in the Dimenschaf team also, but against Bayern he has just led two miseries for Hoffenheim. Goretzka, Kimmich, back to Goretzka. Bayern are really playing those moments good. But we will switch on to the Arsenal and Tottenham game. The second half is about to begin. What will be the result of it? Because Bayern with 5 goals up are definitely going to get the win out of it. Stuttgart and Leipzig. Stuttgart has just got those comeback goals. 2 goals with that of 1 from Leipzig. Arsenal and Tottenham, the second half is going to just begin. Inter and Bologna. Inter are 2 goals to that of 1 from Bologna. Barcelona are 2 goals up. Real Betis in the Copa del Rey, and Atletico are 2 goals up. Sorloth getting a penalty as well. But what is in store for this game? The Gunners and the Spurs. Gunners getting that second goal at the Emirates. That is definitely going big, bro. That is definitely going big. Has Postecoglou made any changes in the first lineup? No. Postecoglou hasn't made any changes to this game. Yes, guys, those of you who want to follow the different updates of the Premier League, the La Liga, the Bundesliga, the League One, as well as the Premier League, the Champions League, Europa League, Conference League, so many leagues, can just get our new playlist. You can check on the channel. It is under the vlog section, where the updated videos and the compilation of all the matches which are happening are being just uploaded time and again. You can just subscribe to that and get a view of it. And yes, those of you who are watching the stream, do give us those like, share and subscribe. Your support means a lot to us. Inside the box, the Gunners are looking to go crusading into the box of the Spurs. They are looking crusading into the box. Postoglou's men, in the first half they did so good up to the 38th minutes, but unfortunately conceding those 2 goals, can we call it that it is their miseries, or we can call it that it is their defensive failure which has just led them to humiliation? Simon Cooper giving that decision, that wasn't even a corner, that was the first goal which the Gunners got. And that late run from Bissouma against Odegaard. Odegaard really blocked that from Bissouma and getting those counters. Trossard, that shot from Trossard. Kinski gets attached to it, but I think Kinski just took this game a bit lightly. He has just taken this game a bit lightly because at times he was seen that Havertz he was trying to just play his skills against Kai Havertz. It was just two moments which I saw that he was just fumbling with the ball against Kai Havertz. That is what Kinski has to learn in this game. Dragusin, Pedro Porro, Spurs are looking nowhere in the build-up. Kinski finds Spence, Burwell. Yes, it is James Madison coming in and Brennan Johnson coming in. Pepe Sarr and Bissouma both has been sacrificed. Good decision which Postecoglou has made. No denying the fact about it. Madison playing that pivotal midfield. Burwell, Pedro Porro. But what is the presence of Johnson on the pitch? Brennan Johnson is that player who can bring in those opportunities. Man, that was Spurs. It was close for them. It was close for the Spurs to get that equalizer. Oh my god. Sterling Havertz miss pass. Madison running high up on the pitch. He was trying to find. Oh my god, Madison was just trying to find Solanke inside the box, but Solanke was a bit late. Son Heung-min inside the box. Son is looking a bit impatient at times this season. He is not getting the hold of the ball too good at times. I mean, he is definitely a threat, but he is not yielding it that much, which Postecoglou's men need in this season. The likes of Son getting those transfers or not, it is also the definite watch. Bologna has just equalized with Inter Milan. Oh my god. In the Serie A round 19, Inter are facing their equalizers at the home of Stadio Giuseppe Meazza Stadium. They have got those equalizers. That is definitely a bit annoying. Barcelona and Real Betis, the second half has started. Barcelona up by 2 goals. Elche and the Roja Blancos Atletico are 2 goals up. Is Burwell looking down with energy? Does he need fresh legs? Because it is already the presence of Madison as well as Brennan Johnson on the pitch. But I think Burwell is not looking coping up. Odegaard with that header. Oh my god, Havertz gets a touch to it or not. Look at that. Saliba is again just blocking Kinski. The first goal which happened the similar way. Madison on the flanks. Spence. Son against Saliba. Son is looking for a corner against Saliba, but yes, Saliba is blocking Son time and again with his physicality so good. Oh my god, it is Thomas Tuchel watching this game. Is he looking for those English players? Is he hunt for those English players? He is seen watching this game. Dragusin was up for Johnson, but Johnson and Kulusevski has nothing to be proving. Pedro Porro has been lying too high up on the pitch and he is not looking perfectly fit into this game. Pedro Porro has not been looking that perfectly fit into this game. Archie Gray again back to Kinski. Press that is from Sterling. Timber, Trossard. Foul considered by Pedro Porro. Pedro Porro is lacking his form today against the likes of Trossard. Rice with that free kick gives a lofted pass for Trossard. Trossard just couldn't get a touch to it. I mean, for this game, up to the 55 minutes on the watch, it is the likes of the Spurs who have just led to a defensive humiliation against the Gunners. Timber, Havertz, Rice. I mean, both Luis Kelly and Timber look so similar. Rice to Partey, Odegaard. Odegaard is a midfield Mysterio. He has been proving it time and again. Look at Sterling, man. Look at Sterling. Oh my god. It was again a header for Kai Havertz. Will he score his London goal again? Will Kai Havertz score his London goal again? But that was straight for Kinski. I mean, the performance of Kinski, if you talk about it. Oh, look at Sterling, man. Look at Sterling. He is missing away everything, whatever he is getting on the pitch. This player, Raheem Sterling, he has got so much of transfers to the elite clubs, but in this game, Raheem Sterling is just missing away everything, whatever he is getting on the pitch. Bagwell, Kulusevski, he has got Madison, Solanke, Son on the wings. Look at that, look at that. It was some opportunity for Johnson. But not being utilized good, guys. Not being utilized good. Johnson just has missed a straight shot inside the box. And he just couldn't get a perfect touch to it. That is Johnson missing it so bad. That is offside. Dominic Solanke is, the flags are raised, he is offside. Stuttgart and Leipzig. Stuttgart are going to win it, man. Leipzig are dropping down points. Leipzig are dropping down points. Not happening for Leipzig in this game. Not happening for Leipzig. In the table, Stuttgart are crawling up. With this win, they will move up to the 5th spot, whereas Leipzig will remain 1 point ahead of Stuttgart on the 5th spot. But look at Borussia Dortmund at the 10th spot. Dortmund has just lost away the glory of its best players, Marco Reus, as well as the likes of Hummels from the squad, and they are looking in those transformation which is going on, and it is not building away those good points. Man, the Gunners are inside the box looking to get any sort of penalties. Trossard was down to the pitch and he is looking at Simon Cooper for those penalties. Look at that. It was Trossard, but Kulusevski gets a touch to it. Man, what is going on? There is a brawl going on in between Leipzig and Stuttgart, and I think that is back to back two red cards. Leipzig has got Benjamin Sesko on the 85th minute getting those red cards, and it is Luis Openda as well getting those. Oh my god, what is just happening? Stuttgart and Leipzig are on to a brawl. Two red cards for Leipzig. Oh my god. Benjamin Sesko does a bad foul, and yes, it is Luis Openda also getting. What is that brawl going on in the Bundesliga? Let me just have a view of it. It is so much interesting and fun to watch the players getting those red cards. What has just happened? Back to back two red cards, and yes, Benjamin Sesko as well as Luis Openda getting those two red cards, and Leipzig are down to 9 men. Oh my god, Bundesliga season has just begun, and it is the players looking their composure on the pitch. Man, that was a big brawl on the pitch. Leipzig are down to 9 men on the pitch. This is looking lethal because Leipzig has got injuries, and yes, Stuttgart are fighting it. 85th minutes, Benjamin Sesko getting that for a bad foul. Kevin Campbell is given that yellow card. And yes, it is Luis Openda also getting that red card. What is that? Bad, bad. Leipzig just nailed it. I mean, getting those two red cards is definitely not the talk of the town. Bayern and Hoffenheim, 3 minutes of stoppage time, and it is going to end soon. and then we will completely switch on to the game between Arsenal and Tottenham. Opportunities were coming for Bayern in this. I mean, looking at these stats, 25 shots from Bayern, 10 on target, 5 big chances, 5 goals. Good stats, good playmaking. At least the redemption against Hoffenheim, Bayern has taken it so good. The previous season, it was Hoffenheim getting those ugly upsets, comebacks. But in this game, Bayern really dominated it so good. And the referee is going to blow the whistle anytime. So yes, the referee has blown the whistle and Bayern has got that good huge wins. Vincent Company doing his job good, getting those fluidity in the team with the positions which he was just swapping up. But we will have a complete analysis to it on the video compilation coming up tomorrow morning. For now, Bayern winning it against Hoffenheim 5-0. Stuttgart winning it against Leipzig down to 9 men with 2 red cards. Brawl in the Bundesliga at the MHP Arena, the home of Stuttgart. Inter and Bologna 2 goals up, both the teams on the 80th minute. Barcelona and Real Betis. Barcelona 3 goals up against Real Betis at the Copa del Rey round. Elche and Atletico Madrid, the Roja Blancos Atletico are 2 goals up against Elche in halftime. Finally, Raheem Sterling has been called onto the bench and Martinelli has been given that opportunity. That is what the substitution which Arsenal has made after the halftime, whereas from Postecoglou it is Maddison and Johnson coming up against Bissouma and Sarr, because Bissouma and Sarr were looking very pathetic in the first half. I mean, the whole of these Spurs on their defensive aspects, they have, I mean, the first goal from the corners, that was in the corner, that we could say it is a bad luck for them. But the second goal, it was Bissouma just leading it to Odegaard and Trossard, whereas Kinski getting a touch to it just couldn't get a save. Can the Spurs get those equalizers? Or it is all the way for the Gunners. Saliba, Timber, Odegaard, Thomas Partey. Partey has got Gabriel, Trossard. Trossard is playing up to the 66 minutes. That is huge. Thomas Partey, Saliba, Timber. Timber has got Martinelli on his side. Samuel Raya. Back to Thomas Partey. Saliba to Timber, finding that space. Timber with his speed, but no, Son was there for those counters. Gray, Spence, Tottenham are looking back with possession, but from the midfield, Postecoglou's men are really lacking bad. From the midfield, Postecoglou's men are really looking bad. Kulusevski, Johnson, everyone are staying so high up on the right midfields. I think if Trossard doesn't get some sort of space from there, then it would be that third goal which the Spurs might concede. Martinelli to Trossard. Back to Saliba. Odegaard. That is what I'm saying. That is what I'm saying. The midfield from the Spurs, the likes of the likes of Burwell, Madison, Johnson. Martinelli is inside the box. He is doing those magical dribbling movements inside the box against Gray Spence. What a classic move that was from Martinelli. Archie Gray, Spence, Burwell, all of them were so well dribbled by Martinelli on the pitch. Martinelli at his time is bet lethal. Odegaard with his left footer. Will that be a header? No. Denied. Burwell denies it. Good. Burwell denies it. Good. But upon the substitution of Brennan Johnson on the pitch, do you guys think that Brennan Johnson is doing his job? I don't think so that Johnson is making any kind of job on the pitch. His presence is not even felt. Whereas the likes of Pedro Porro, look at him where he is staying on the pitch. He is just man marking Trossard and he is creating those spaces, because that will lead to these spaces for Brennan Johnson to move up high on the pitch. But Johnson is not getting those passes even from the midfields. Luis Kelly with that throw, he goes for Havertz. Good block from Bagwell. Pedro Porro. Porro for Madison. But again, that is some sort of interception. Arsenal are man marking these Spurs good in their own half. They are not giving those passes. Kulusevski against Odegaard. Havertz. Back pass to Dragusin. Archie Gray. Spence. Spence to Burwell. Back to Madison. Where is Madison going to pass? Look at the midfield presence which the Spurs are playing. The flat three midfields. Pedro Porro cutting in, but Son was deep into the box. Archie Gray against Havertz. Havertz plays those unorthodox number 9 at times. I really feel it too critical to get what Havertz does at times. Does he play as a whole player? Does he play those deep lying? Does he play those center forwards? He is that player who is roaming so freely on the pitch. That is definitely a player who gets such from the manager is so much. Will you call him a classic number 10 even? But he gets those touches. Solanke, will he get that shot? Block from Gabriel. Solanke was there. That was Brennan Johnson also there, but now it is Arsenal looking. Declan Rice straight to Kinski. Thank God Kinski gets a save. Otherwise, it was Declan Rice getting into the nets. Look at the defensive midfields. Martinelli is there. Odegaard. Only 4 players. Neither of the Spurs are dropping down in the defensive midfields. I mean, Kinski in this game, what a versatile performance. He is getting those saves. He has been doing his job good, but he conceded twice. I would say in this game, Spurs have been lacking in the midfields much. Son Kulusevski on the edge of the box. But where are those crosses? Where are those shots on goals in the second half, which the Spurs are going to make? Spence, Burkwell, Madison. Madison just couldn't find Johnson nor Kulusevski. No one is there in the midfield to get any kind of support. Suddenly the Spurs are looking out of their form. Mikel Arteta is going on for some sort of substitutions. Yes, Arteta is going for the substitution, guys. Is it going to be Mikel Merino or is it going to be Kuyur or Zinchenko who is going to come up next? Will he bring in the reinforcements in the centre backs? Or will he go for those attacks? What is Arteta cooking up? That is definitely the next 15 minutes of the second half as well as the stoppage time left into it. Kinski, Dragusin. Man, look at that passes which Kinski is making. Kinski is making those tough. Man. Havertz Martinelli just couldn't capitalize that miss pass from Kinski. I mean, that was lethal. That was lethal pass for Spence to handle at the midfields. I mean, Kinski is at times doing those saves, but his passes are looking bit lethal for the Spurs midfield at times. Finally, Trossard is being called off the pitch. I mean, that goal from Trossard, it could have been a save. I mean, Trossard didn't hit that shot too good. It was some sort of dipping movement in it. Even Kinski gets a touch to it, but Kinski couldn't save that good. It is finally Leonardo Trossard coming onto the bench, and Tierney is moving up to the pitch. Tierney will definitely move for those left backs. He will be bringing in more reinforcements. Arteta is bringing reinforcements for his defensive aspects in this game. It is Martinelli. Son Solanke, that is a foul. I think Gabriel has considered a foul. Is there a card for him? No. Simon Cooper goes for no card. Richarlison is coming onto the pitch. Oh my god, Richarlison back from injuries. This Brazilian Mysterio is coming onto the pitch. Can you believe this? I mean, it is a long time Richarlison has made those appearances for the Spurs. Only 5 games played this season. It was the November 3rd against Aston Villa where Richarlison played, and after that he was under those injuries. Now Son is being replaced, he is being called onto the bench, and Richarlison is making those appearances. It is finally Richarlison coming onto the pitch for the Spurs after those long injuries. He has been there. Finally, Richarlison is making his presence on the pitch. The last time it was against Aston Villa, and Richarlison was out for an injury. Back to the pitch. Can Richarlison make those comeback moments count for Postecoglou? Postecoglou is in need for a goal because he has brought in Richarlison back from injuries and directly into the substitutions. He is desperately needing for a goal. Samuel Roya going for those goal kick. Dragusin is looking injured. No, that is not. Burwell, Spence, Richarlison finally gets his touch. What a pass that is to man, that was Spence inside the box. Will that be a penalty for it? No, Simon Cooper. Will that be a corner? Look at that. Look at that pass from Richarlison. A tackle from Saliba, but that was fair enough. That was fair enough from Saliba, no doubt in it. It was Spence to make it bit clumsy, but he is not a striker or a forward who could make those runs. That is what is the underlying statement of this game from the side of Postecoglou. Spence was inside the box. It was Solanke as well as Johnson staying in the box, but he couldn't get a pass to them. Samuel Raya has suddenly started taking those long goalkeeping kicks. Kinski clearing that. Safe into the hands. Johnson. What a pass that is. What is that from Kulusevski? But Spurs winning the possession. Barguel. Pedro Porro. Porro has got Kulusevski. I mean, the defensive duos of Saliba as well as Gabriel, they are proving, I mean, defensively, they are staying so tall and so high. They are denying Gabriel and Saliba, they are denying everything whichever is coming onto their box. Inter and Bologna, on the other hand, in the Serie A round 19 have just ended in a draw. Inter is just losing points in the table. If you talk about Inter, are now 3 points behind Napoli, but still a game to play. Inter and Bologna, Dumfries and Lautaro Martinez scoring the first half, but from Bologna, Castro and Home giving those equalizers in 15 minutes and 64 minutes. That is Bologna doing those good, but in the table Bologna are at the 8th spot. Big worries for Inter. Still a game in hand. Can they equalize against Napoli? The likes of Inter in their next fixtures, they have got Empoli, Sparta Prague, Nice, Monaco, Milan. But when is Inter going to face Napoli? It is the March 2nd where Inter and Napoli will face, and that is the home for Napoli, the Stadio Armando Maradona Stadium. Antonio Conte doing a good job still on the first spot, but Inter still has a game to play. And in the Italian Serie A table, oh my god, so close, so close. Barcelona and Real Betis. Barcelona are 5 goals. Oh my god, what is Hansi Flick giving those dope to these players time and again? This time is getting those comebacks big time. Big time comebacks from Barcelona. Javi scoring, Kunde, Rafinha, Ferran, Yamal scoring. Bang! The whole team is banging against Real Betis. And yes, Atletico Madrid against Elche in the Copa del Rey. Sorloth getting those two goals, one from a penalty and one on the 9th minute. But now Elche are down to 10 men. 51st minute, Fernandez getting those red cards. Elche are down to 10 men against the Roja Blancos. Worries. On the other hand, the game on the screen over here, it is Tottenham, the Spurs against the Gunners, Arsenal at the Emirates. But Richarlison has been called on to the squad. Odegaard with that shot inside the box. No. I mean, what is this Arsenal cooking up from inside the box? The shots which they are taking, it is not going into the nets. But they are getting those headers. I mean, in this Premier League season, Arsenal getting those header goals, it has been much. And yes, that second goal from Leonardo Trossard, where Kinski just couldn't get a good touch to it. That is that goal. Solanke inside the box, pass from Richarlison. Richarlison making his presence on the pitch. He is going for those passes. Look at that from Richarlison. That pass was quick. But Dominic Solanke against Gabriel as well as Saliba, not getting those fruitful results. Is it that these Spurs are going to bring in Will Lancashire, the new man, the new young player? Will Lancashire make his appearance? Dominic Solanke not getting his performance good. Postecoglou has to bring in reinforcements. Or is he going to stick with Solanke? What was that? Some sort of tackles going on inside the box from Bergwall. Zinchenko, Mikel Merino coming onto the pitch. Arteta is making those changes, but Postecoglou is not even trying to go for any more changes. Just 3 substitutes for him. He has got Regulian, he has got Mickey Moore, he has got Lancashire. Not going for them. Big aspect from Postecoglou's tactical presence in the game, where in the midfields they have been lacking. But suddenly a brawl is going on between what is that Luis Kelly is doing? Is he gone mad or what? Luis Kelly has got some egoistic boost problems in his bags, and yes, he was up against tackling Bergwall and Declan Rice, Luis Kelly coming onto the bench, Zinchenko and Merino for the super subs onto the 86 minutes on the watch, and it is Spurs with Madison taking that corner. Madison going for those right colors. It is perfect. But headers are not the aspect which these Spurs are looking clinical. Saliba is moving high up on the pitch. Martinelli up against Pedro Porro. So many blue shirts inside the box, but yeah, they are just not being able to outnumber the red shirts. What is that happening? I mean, so many of the red shirts trying to outnumber the blue shirts. Finally, it didn't happen. Saliba inside the box for those headers. No, he is not. Look at that. Arsenal is not going for those reinforcements. Mikel Merino. Back passes. Arsenal back passing. Saliba clearing that. Richarlison down to the pitch. Bergwall. He has got Richarlison. Richarlison is making his presence felt at times. But where is the likes of Madison and Johnson staying close to him? Now is Kulusevski. This moment, this motivation from Postecoglou, I am not being able to understand anything out of it. I am not being able to understand anything out of it. What is Postecoglou trying? He is just relying on those fast wing forward runs from the Spurs to go for those equalizers. Apart from that, from the midfield, Spurs are not looking any way close to get those equalizers. Richarlison finally winning that. Solanke, Johnson. Look at that midfield presence again from the midfield. The Spurs are looking way down on the pitch. Finally, Madison makes a move. Spence. Madison is close to him. Kulusevski as well as Bergwijn are so deep down. Richarlison going for those crosses. Dominic Solanke is not getting a touch inside the box. Saliba and Gabriel, they have been man marking this player so good. Really so good. Both of them have been marking so good. 90 minutes are up on the watch. 5 minutes of extra time. Stoppage time of 5 minutes. That is quite good enough to get those equalizers for the Spurs. But how are they going to convert it? It depends. It depends completely their midfield presence. The flags are raised and that is a throw in favor of the Gunners. Gunners winning it against Spurs, it is definitely not much anticipated. But yes, this has been the trend for many years and many seasons. Simon Cooper just gives that yellow card. It is for that tackle for Dominic Solanke. Archie Gray, Bergwijn, a free kick being taken so bad. A free kick being taken so bad by the Spurs. Spence, Richarlison. Pass from Richarlison. Spence is into the left wings. Back to Richarlison again. Richarlison going for those crosses. He has got Pedro Porro. Pedro Porro inside the box. Dominic Solanke with a bicycle kick. That is what it is left for in this game, because Saliba and Gabriel are not giving away any spaces for Solanke to get into it. But that was a bicycle kick, and yes, Postecoglou is not happy with that aerial stunt show from Solanke on the pitch. But why is Postecoglou just sticking with Solanke? He has got Lancashire. Postecoglou and his thoughts are nowhere near to beat. 3 minutes of stoppage time are over. Just 2 minutes left into it. Why is Kinski just passing the ball to the left backs of Spence and only to Archie Gray, or it is Bergwijn, but he is not looking towards Pedro Porro? That is not I am being able to understand at times. It is finally Bergwijn passing to Kulusevski, Pedro Porro. the playmaking of the Spurs. Now they are opening up, but it is too late. It is too late. Spence has a terrible performance this game. Spence Archie Gray, terrible performance. Kinski, Kulusevski. Kulusevski goes for Madison. No, it is Dragusin. Dragusin getting for Madison. Madison to Kulusevski. Pedro Porro with that cross. Oh my god! That was a good save from Samuel Raya, but what was that? Pedro Porro didn't went for those cross. He went for those first post. Pedro Porro, that shot from Porro could have just ended with this equalizers. But not happening for the Spurs in this game. Postecoglou is just not looking high up. Humiliations. Postecoglou is looking for those humiliations, and I think Postecoglou is not doing good with this team. Not a good aspect which Postecoglou has shown in this game. With a 1-goal lead they got in the North Indian Derby and the North London Derby, that was something which Postecoglou has really been denied. Porro back to Kinski. Kinski clears it. Dragusin high up on the pitch. Kulusevski moving to the right wings. Will he go for those crosses? No. Back to Burwell. Pedro Porro with that cross. Oh my god. Oh my god. Gabriel has been blocking. Dominic Solanke is so good in this game. Every time Solanke has been denied of any opportunity. Richarlison inside the box. Kulusevski on the edge of the box. That is all. The red man inside the center of the box. And yes, Mikel Arteta has something to celebrate. Mikel Arteta has something to celebrate, and he has been seen just raising his hand high up for those celebrations. Mikel Arteta has just celebrated this win. Oh my god. Anyways guys, this game we just want to have a roundup of the stats. Just look at it, how this game unfolded. It was just Son Heung-min's on the 25th minute goal. That was a good one, but a little bit of deflection into it. Pepe Sarr not worthy of playing in this game. He was not looking best in his form. Dominic Solanke, I mean, that was an own goal you would say, but it was a header. It was a good tactical combination from Saliba and Gabriel to block Kinski. Kinski was performing well with those blocks. Kai Havertz getting those yellow cards. Trossard, that shot was not that clinical, but Kinski not getting a touch to it, I mean a proper touch to it, just leads to that second goal. Apart from that, the substitutions, Johnson came in, Madison came in, Gabriel Martinelli came in for Sterling, Tierney for Trossard from Arsenal. Richarlison was the man who made his presence into the super subs on the 78th minute. After such a long injury time, Richarlison has made his mark on the pitch. The last time he played was against Aston Villa in the month of November. Luis Kelly getting those yellow cards. Zinchenko and Arsenal went for those, I mean, defensive substitutions. Zinchenko coming in, Mikel Merino, Gabriel finally getting those yellow cards on the 90th minutes. But look at this. This is something which is most disappointing. I mean, it was total of 14 shots from the Gunners at their home, whereas 10. 4 big chances. Gunners could not convert it. Havertz missing it bad. Martinelli got some chances, not doing it good. Odegaard also missed it from the box. Nothing was that good from the Gunners, but these 2 goals somehow from nowhere they got it, and they just got those 3 points at the Emirates. I mean, I won't call this a good performance from the Gunners, but they have won it and they have got it big. In the Premier League table, if you talk about this, Liverpool still at the top, whereas the Spurs have moved down to the 13th spot. That is disheartening. 4 points behind Liverpool, Arsenal. Liverpool still has a game to play. That is what a point to be noted. Arsenal just conceding 19 goals, whereas Liverpool has conceded 20 goals. That is what the difference between these two teams. Liverpool scoring 48, Arsenal scoring 41, 7 goals less. That is all about it. Is this Premier League table going, I mean, too high to the last part of the season or not, or is it going to be a one way? On the other hand, it was the game where Bayern and Hoffenheim were there, and yes, Bayern it winning it big against Hoffenheim, getting those 25 shots on target. And in the Bundesliga table, after tonight's matches, Bayern are at the top with 42 points. Leverkusen at the second, 4 points behind Bayern. Leverkusen have conceded 23 goals. Bayern have conceded 13 goals only. And 53 goals scored by Bayern, whereas Leverkusen 41 goals. Frankfurt are crawling high up on the table on the third spot with 33 points on the table. Leipzig losing this against Stuttgart for today's game, dropping points but still at the fourth spot, and Stuttgart have climbed up to the fifth spot. But the worries of Borussia Dortmund is there because they are down with so much of injuries. And yes, Stuttgart winning this against Leipzig with a comeback, and it was Leipzig down to 9 men with those brawl going on onto the pitch. Benjamin Sesko and Luis Openda, both of them getting those red cards. I mean, second yellow card and a red card. Both of these players will not be able to for the next matches. Much worries for Leipzig. They are also in so much of injuries, and two of their elite strikers getting those red cards, a suspension. Much worries. Inter and Bologna, if you talk about them, it is Inter just getting those 2 goals against Bologna. And in the Serie A table, if we talk about, it is Napoli. I mean, Antonio Conte's men, 47 points, 20 games played. Inter still has a game. I mean, Simone Inzaghi's men still has a game to play on the 19th. 19 games played on 44 points, 17 goals conceded. But look at Napoli has conceded just 12 goals, where they have scored 32. Inter has scored much, 48 goals, but conceded 5 more goals. That is a worry. And Napoli's man, Antonio Conte, Napoli has just conceded 12. That is the least in the Serie A. On the other hand, there was also the game ongoing between Barcelona and Real Betis in the Copa del Rey round of 16. Here, Barcelona winning it big. They won it by 5-1 against Real Madrid. That was in the Supercopa de España, and in the Copa del Rey round of 16 against Real Betis, they scored those 5 goals. Xavi, Koundé, Rafinha, Ferran Torres, Yamal, Hansi Flick has made this team a dope. They are going so good. So good performance. And yes, just 18 shots on target. They converted so good with 5 goals. On the other hand, it is ongoing Atletico Madrid and Elche in the Copa del Rey round of 16. Roja Blancos, Sorloth getting those 2 goals, one with a penalty, and Riquelme on the 62nd minutes. But Elche are down to 10 men with Fernandes getting those red cards. But in the La Liga table, if we talk about, just look at it. It is Atletico who are at the top. Apart from this Copa del Rey, if we look at the La Liga table, Atletico Madrid, 19 games played, 12 goals conceded. They have conceded the less 44 points, 1 point ahead of Real Madrid. Both have played 19 games, but Barcelona has just, dropped down points with their loss of form in the month of November and December. 22 goals conceded and 51 goals. Barcelona are the highest goal scorer of the La Liga this season. 51 goals they have scored. And on the other hand, Atletico Madrid have the least conceded this season. That is all about. We had a game where PSG was also there in the Supercopa de France, but we will make a compiled video of those definitely. And yes, tomorrow morning that video will be posted or at noon. So yes, those of you who had a watch of this, do give us those like, share and subscribe guys. And yes, your comments as well, your likes definitely matter a lot to us. And yes, thank you for tuning to us. Apart from that, I will take a good night and bye from my side. Keep cooling guys. Bye bye.